This is Midnight Confessions, where the darkest truths finally speak. No names, no faces, just raw, anonymous stories from people who've carried secrets too heavy to hold alone. What you're about to hear is real. It was submitted by someone who said, "If I don't tell this story, I'll die with it." This isn't fiction. There's no script, no actor, just a human being breaking their silence. Warning, this story contains themes of family betrayal, forbidden love, and identity deception. If you're sensitive to these topics, please listen with care. You're not alone. We protect every submitter's identity. Their voice will be altered, their name never spoken, but what they did, what was done to them, that truth, that stays. So take a breath, turn off the lights, and prepare for a confession that will change how you see love, family, and the lives we live to survive. This is Midnight Confessions. I stood at the altar in a white suit, hands trembling, heart pounding. The church was full. Roses lined the aisles. My mother was crying. My best man gave me a thumbs up. Everything looked perfect, but inside, I felt like I was dying, because as she walked toward me, my bride, my love, the woman I was about to marry, something in my chest twisted. Not joy, not excitement. It was recognition, like I had seen her before, not just in photos, not just in dreams, but in blood. She reached me, smiled, took my hand, and that's when I saw it. On her left shoulder, just above the strap of her dress, a small, dark birthmark, shaped like a teardrop. I froze, because I knew that mark. I had stared at it in the mirror every morning of my life. It was on my shoulder too. Same shape, same size, same exact spot. I looked into her eyes, deep brown, full love, and my mind screamed one thing. This isn't just my wife. This is my sister. No, that's impossible. We grew up in different states. She was raised in Oregon. I was raised in Texas. We met in college. Our parents had never met. We even ran a DNA test before the wedding, just for fun, ancestry, heritage, and it said we shared no close family ties, less than 0.1%. But that mark, it wasn't a coincidence. I knew it. She didn't, and I couldn't say anything. The priest began to speak. Dearly beloved. My mouth went dry. My palms soaked through my gloves. I looked down at my hand, holding hers. Two people, one blood, one lie, one marriage, about to be sealed. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But I just stood there, smiling, nodding, saying the words I had practiced for months. I do. And she said it too. I do. And just like that, we were husband and wife. The crowd cheered. We kissed. Photos were taken. Everyone was happy. But I felt like I had committed a crime. Not just against the law, but against nature, against God, against her, because I knew something she didn't. Something I couldn't prove. Something I didn't even want to believe. That we were related. Blood. Family. And now married. After the ceremony, we went to the reception. Laughter. Music. Toast. My best friend said, "You two are so alike." Same laugh. Same walk. Even the same way you tilt your head. Everyone laughed. I didn't. Because it wasn't funny. It was terrifying. Later, during our first dance, I whispered, "Where did you get that birthmark?" She smiled. My mom said I was born with it. Why? I said, "Just curious." But I wasn't curious. I was confirming. That night, at the hotel, after the champagne and the celebrations, she fell asleep. I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling. Then, slowly, I lifted the sheet. I looked at her shoulder. Then I pulled down my own shirt. Same spot, same shape, same darkness. I took out my phone, took a photo of mine. Then, quietly, a photo of hers. I put them side by side, and my breath stopped. They were identical, not just similar. Identical, like one was a mirror of the other. I sat there for an hour, heart racing, thoughts spinning. Adoption? Could we both have been adopted? From the same place? Same parents? I opened my laptop, logged into the adoption agency's portal, the one I barely used since I was a kid. I pulled up my file. Name, redacted. DOB, redacted. Biological parents, unknown. But under notes, a line I'd never noticed before. Sibling separation protocol, case hashtag TX or 7742. TX, Texas, or Oregon, my state, her state, and the number, 7,742. I typed it into the search bar. Nothing. Access denied. Then I remembered my wife had signed up with the same agency years ago. She once told me she wanted to find her roots. I went to her laptop, logged in, searched her file, and there it was. Same case number, same protocol, sibling separation, do not contact. And under medical notes, identical twin markers confirmed at birth. Twins? We weren't just related. We were identical twins, separated at birth, raised in different families. And now, we had just gotten married. I sat back, my hands shaking, my mind breaking. I looked at her, sleeping, peaceful, innocent. She had no idea, and I had no idea what to do. Because if I told her, our marriage would be void, our lives destroyed, our families shattered. And if I didn't, we'd live a lie written in blood. And then, as I closed her laptop, I saw something else. A folder, labeled, If I Disappear. I clicked it. Inside, a single document. And the first line read, I know who my real family is, and they're coming for me. That's when I realized this wasn't just about us. This was bigger, darker, and someone was watching. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. I sat there in the dark hotel room, my wife, no, my sister, breathing softly beside me, the laptop screen glowing like a warning. That folder, that name, If I Disappear. My fingers hovered over the trackpad. I didn't want to open it, but I couldn't not. I clicked, the document loaded, and the first line hit me like a punch to the chest. I've known the truth since I was 12. I read on. I found a letter hidden in my mother's jewelry box. It wasn't addressed to her. It was addressed to me from the adoption agency. It said, Subject or 7742 has a biological sibling. Separation protocol active. Do not disclose. I stopped breathing. She knew. She had known for years. And she never told me. The document continued. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I asked my mom. She cried, said it wasn't true, but I saw the fear in her eyes, the guilt, so I started digging. I found a photo, 2 babies, identical, one labeled TX, Texas, the other, or Oregon, same birth date, same hospital, same blood type, but different last names. I looked at her, still asleep. How long had she been carrying this? Why did she marry me? Was any of it real? I kept reading. I spent years searching for my twin. I joined forums, hired a private investigator. Nothing. Until one day, I saw a face in a college brochure. Same eyes, same smile, same birthmark. I transferred schools just to meet you. My stomach dropped. She didn't just find me. She hunted me. The letter went on. I told myself it was just curiosity. But the moment I saw you, I felt something. Not sisterly, not familial. It was deeper, faster, like my soul recognized yours. I fell in love with you, knowing we were twins. I closed the laptop. My hands were shaking, not from anger, from betrayal, from confusion, from grief. Because everything I thought was real, our love, our connection, our future, had been built on a lie she knew about, and I didn't. And yet, she loved me. She chose me, even knowing. Was that sick? Was that wrong? Or was it inevitable? I got up, went to the bathroom, stared at my reflection. Who are you? I whispered, not just to myself, To the moan in the mirror, to the husband, to the brother, to the twin, I splashed water on my face. Tried to think, but my mind was a storm. I went back to the laptop. There was one more paragraph. I don't know if I can live with this truth, but I do know one thing. The agency that separated us, they didn't just place us in different homes. They sold us to different families for different reasons. And the woman who signed the papers, she wasn't an agent. She was a broker, and she still has files on us. If you're reading this, she knows you found this letter, and she's watching. I froze. Watching? How? I looked around the room. The clock on the nightstand, the smoke detector in the ceiling, the TV, the AC vent. Were any of them cameras? I got up, walked slowly to the mirror, stared into it. Then I saw it, a tiny red dot, not in the mirror. Behind it, I pulled the mirror off the wall, and there it was, a pinhole camera, hidden in the frame, recording. I ripped it out, tossed it into the sink, crushed it with a glass. But that wasn't the worst part, because when I checked the laptop again, there was a new email, sent 5 minutes ago. No subject, just one line. You weren't supposed to find each other. No sender, no IP, just that sentence. And an attachment. I clicked it. It was a video. Black screen, then static, and a voice. A woman's voice. Soft, cold, familiar. She said, "You two were never meant to meet. You were part of an experiment. Twin studies. Emotional bonding under false identities. We needed to see if love could survive, even when it was a lie." I felt sick. An experiment? We were lab rats? She continued, "You were never adopted. You were assigned. Your parents? Paid actors. Your lives? Scripted. The only truth? Your DA. And now, you broken protocol." I shut the laptop. My heart was pounding. I looked at my wife, still asleep, still innocent in her ignorance, but not for long, because the next line in the email was worse. It said, "She doesn't know the full truth. You do. Now you have to decide. Tell her or let her live a lie. But choose fast, because at 3:00 a.m., the extraction team arrives." I checked the time. 2:47 a.m. 3 minutes. I looked at the door, then at the window, then at her, and I realized this wasn't just about our marriage. This was about our freedom, our identity, our survival, and whoever was coming. They didn't want to talk. They wanted to erase us. And as the clock ticked to 2:58, I did the only thing I could. I grabbed her hand, shook her awake, and whispered, "We have to run. Now. Because we're not just siblings. We're not just twins. We're not even human to them. We're property, and they're coming to take us back." We ran. No bags, no phones, no plan. Just her hand in mine, barefoot, running through the back alleys of the city at 2:59 a.m. The cold air bit our skin. Sirens wailed in the distance. But not for us. Not yet, because this wasn't police. This was something else. Something darker. Something that didn't file reports. It erased evidence. And we were the evidence. We ducked into an abandoned parking garage, hidden between two cars, breathing hard. She looked at me, eyes wide, confused, terrified. "What the hell is happening?" she whispered. I had no good answer, so I gave her the truth, the whole truth. I told her about the birthmark, the DNA, the adoption files, the case number TX or 7742. And then I showed her the letter, her own words. "I've known the truth since I was 12. She read it, silent. Then her hands started shaking. "No," she said. "No, this isn't real. I didn't write this." I stared at her. "What?" "I never wrote this. I didn't even know about the folder." She grabbed the laptop, opened a file, scrolled, then froze. This isn't my writing," she said. "The tone, the style, I use contractions. I don't say subject or 7742. I'd say me or I. My blood ran cold. Someone else wrote this. Someone pretended to be her, to make me think she knew, to make me panic, to make me run. But why? Who benefits from us fleeing? The agency? The broker? Or someone else? I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time since the wedding, I wondered, is she even real? Has any of this been real? I backed away slightly. She saw it. You don't trust me now, do you? She asked. I didn't answer, because I didn't. Not fully. Not anymore. We sat in silence for what felt like hours. Then, at dawn, I made a decision. We needed proof. Real proof. Not letters. Not emails. Not voice messages. We needed paper. Original documents. From the source. So we went underground. We bought burner phones. Used cash. Avoided cameras. And 3 days later, we stood outside the only place that could answer our questions. The Adoption and Genetic Research Center, AGRC, a sleek, windowless building in the middle of a corporate park. No sign, no visitors, just a single door with a biometric scanner. This wasn't an adoption agency. It was a lab, and we were the experiment. We couldn't go in, but we could watch. So we waited for 2 nights. Then, on the third evening, a woman left late, black coat, tight bun, carrying a briefcase, and on the side, a small sticker, Project Gemini, Level 4 clearance. Gemini, twins, this was it. We followed her, not close, not reckless, just enough to see where she went. She drove to a quiet neighborhood, entered a townhouse, lights on, curtains closed. We waited until midnight. Then I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. The door cracked open. She peered out. What do you want? I said, you know who I am. She froze, then slammed the door. I pushed. It opened. We stepped inside. She backed away. You shouldn't be here, she said. Then tell me why I am. I said, tell me what Project Gemini is. She hesitated, then whispered, sit down. We did, and then she told us everything. Her name was Dr. Elena Voss. She was a genetic behavioral scientist, and 25 years ago, she ran a classified study, Emotional Attachment Under False Kinship Conditions. The goal? To see if identical twins, raised apart, could fall in love without knowing they were related. Could biology override morality? Could love survive a lie? And most importantly, could the mind be rewired to accept forbidden relationships if introduced slowly? We selected 12 pairs of twins, she said, separated at birth, placed in families with similar values, income, religion, but different locations, different names, different lives. My wife gasped, 12 pairs. Dr. Voss nodded. You were pair number 7, TX and OR, the most promising. Promising. I said, we're not lab rats. No, she said, you were data points, and your results were extraordinary. She pulled out a file, opened it, photos, our childhoods, school reports, psych evaluations, even home videos, footage of us as kids labeled with timestamps and codes. This is illegal, I said. It was government funded, she said. Defense Advanced Research. They wanted to know if loyalty could be manufactured, if soldiers could be conditioned to love their units like family, or something more. I felt sick. We weren't just part of an experiment. We were weapons research. Dr. Voss continued. The study ended 10 years ago. Funding cut, files sealed, subjects left in the dark. Then why are we being hunted? I asked. She looked down. Because someone restarted it. What? 3 months ago, someone accessed the old servers, reopened the files, reactivated the protocols. Who? She hesitated, then said, my assistant. Her name is Mara. She was only 16 when the project ended, but she was obsessed with it. Said the real test wasn't separation. It was reunion. My wife whispered, "Reunion?" Dr. Voss nodded. She believes the final phase begins when the twins find each other, when they fall in love, when they marry. That's when the mind fractures. That's when the true data begins. I stared at her. "You're saying she wanted us to get married?" "Yes." "And now she's watching us to see how we break?" "Yes." "And the extraction team?" "Not government, not police. Her private team. She calls them cleaners. They erase subjects who go off script." My wife grabbed my arm. "We have to run again." But Dr. Voss stopped us. "There's one more thing." She opened another file, labeled Gemini 7 Alternate Subject. Inside, a photo, a woman, same face, same eyes, same birthmark, but older, colder, standing in front of a mirror with two reflections. I didn't understand until she said, "You weren't just twins. We were triplets." Silence. The room spun. Triplet? There was a third of us? Dr. Voss said, "She was the firstborn, 2 minutes before you, but she wasn't placed. She was kept." Kept? By who? By Mara. She raised her, trained her, to monitor you, to become you, to replace you if you failed. My wife whispered, "So she's our sister?" "Yes. And she's not just watching. She's already here." I felt a chill. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from our hotel security app. We had installed it days ago, a hidden camera in our temporary room. The alert said, "Motion detected." I opened the feed. Black and white. Our empty room. Then the door creaked open. A figure entered, wearing a hoodie, head down, walked to the mirror, stopped, then slowly pulled back the hood, and I saw her face, my wife's face, but not us. Her eyes locked onto the camera, and she smiled, then typed something on her phone. It flashed on screen, a message. "I've been living as you for 3 weeks. She never existed, and now I'm taking your life." The screen went black. I dropped the phone. My wife, no, the woman beside me, grabbed my arm. "Who was that?" she said, terrified. I looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't know. Was she real, or was she the imposter? Had the real one already been replaced? Was the woman beside me even my wife? Dr. Voss whispered, "There's no way to know, because in Project Gemini, the copy is always perfect, and the original always the first to disappear." We didn't sleep. We didn't eat. We didn't speak. We just stared at that frozen frame, the woman in our room, smiling into camera, typing, asterisk, "I've been living as you for 3 weeks. She never existed." Asterisk. And then the screen went black. I turned to the woman beside me, the one I had married, the one I had run with, the one I thought was my sister, my twin, my wife, and I asked a question that broke my voice. "Who are you?" She flinched. "I'm me," she said. "I'm real. I've been with you since the wedding. You know that." But I didn't know. Not anymore. Because if they could create a fake letter, they could create a fake person. And if they had been watching us for weeks, maybe she wasn't the one who had been replaced. Maybe I was. Dr. Voss broke the silence. "There's a test," she said. "A test." She nodded. The Gemini project implanted micro-ID chips in all subjects at birth, tiny, beneath the skin, behind the left ear, not for tracking, for verification. I touched the back of my ear. Nothing, but I'd never looked. She handed us 2 small silver devices, like old USB scanners. Swipe them behind your ear. If you're original, it will glow blue. If not, red. My hand shook. This was it. The moment that would tell me, am I me, or am I just a copy? I looked at her. She looked back, Fear in her eyes, not of the machine, but of the truth. We both raised the scanners. At the same time, behind our ears, and pressed. Mine glowed blue, hers glowed red. Silence. Then she whispered, No, this is wrong. I'm real. I remember everything. My first day of school, my dog, my mother's voice. But the machine didn't care. It didn't feel. It only knew. And it said, She is not original. Dr. Voss stepped back. She's a replica. Trained, implanted with false memories. Probably activated the moment you two left the hotel. I stared at her, at the woman I had kissed, held, run with. And now, she wasn't even real? Then where is she? I said, Where is my real wife? Dr. Voss hesitated, then said, In their custody, like the others. Others? She nodded. The 11 other pairs. Most didn't survive reunion. Some were erased. Others are still being studied. I felt like I was falling, but then the fake, the replica, grabbed my arm. Please, she said, I don't care what this thing says. I feel real. I love you. I remember our first date. The way you laughed when I spilled wine on your shirt. The way you held me when I cried about my mom dying. I froze. Her mom died? She never told me that. I never told anyone that. Because it wasn't her mom. It was my mom. And I only told one person. The real her. At 2 a.m. 3 weeks ago. Through tears. No camera. No witnesses. Just us. And now, she remembered it? How? Unless she wasn't fake. Unless the chip was wrong. Or unless they had implanted the memory. Dr. Voss saw the look on my face. You're realizing it, aren't you? She said. They don't just copy faces. They copy experiences. They upload memories, emotions, trauma, everything that makes someone real. I stepped back. Then how do I know I'm real? She didn't answer because she couldn't. No one could. The door suddenly creaked. We turned. It wasn't locked, and the hallway was dark. Then a shadow moved. Slow, deliberate. Footsteps. Not one pair. Two. We grabbed the scanners. Lights off. Hid behind the couch. The door opened. Two figures entered, both wearing black. Hoods up. One held a device, like a radar, sweeping the room. The other carried a syringe, labeled Reset Gemini 7B. Reset, not kill. Reset. They weren't here to eliminate. They were here to reprogram. The first one spoke, a woman's voice. She's not here. The scanner says she is. The other said, signal is weak but active. Then the first one looked down at the red scanner on the floor, the one that had marked her as fake. She picked it up, turned it in her hand, then smiled. She passed the test. My blood froze. She knew it was fake, which meant she wasn't with them. She was leading them. She looked right at where we were hiding and whispered, I'm not the replica. I'm the original, and I've been hunting you. She pulled back her hood, and I saw her face, exactly like mine, exactly like the woman beside me, but different, harder, colder, with a scar I'd never had. She stepped forward. This isn't about love, she said. It's about survival. I've been in a facility for 10 years, forced to watch you live my life, eat my food, sleep in my bed, marry the one I loved. I didn't speak because I couldn't. She continued. They gave me a choice, die or become a hunter, erase the copies, restore the original timeline, and if I succeeded, I'd get my life back. She looked at the woman beside me. You're not her, she said. You're a ghost, a shadow, a mistake. Then she turned to me. And you? I held my breath. I married a lie, I said, but I loved her, even if she wasn't real. She stared at me, then said, love doesn't care about truth. It only cares about feeling. She lowered the syringe. I'm not here to reset you. I'm here to warn you. Mara isn't just running Project Gemini. She's launching Phase 2, Reunion. And you're not the first pair to wake up. You're the first to resist. She handed me a flash drive. Everything is on here. Files, locations, the other pairs, the labs, the brokers. Then she looked at the fake, the replica. You have 3 days, she said. After that, they'll come for you, and they won't just reset you. They'll replicate you. And then you'll watch yourself live your life from a cage. She turned to leave. I called out, what about her? The real one. She stopped. If she's still alive, she's in Facility 9, underground, outside Denver. Then she whispered, but be careful what you save, because when you find her, you might not recognize the woman you married. Trauma changes people, and she's been changed in ways you can't imagine. The door closed. We were alone. The replica, no, the copy, looked at me. What do we do? She asked. I looked at the flash drive, then at her, and I realized it didn't matter if she was real. She was here. She remembered me. She loved me. And in a world where identity is stolen, memories are forged, and truth is erased, that might be the only thing left. I took her hand and said, we find the others, we burn the labs, and we make sure no one else becomes a ghost in their own life. Because this wasn't just about us. This was about all of them. The 12 pairs, the lost twins, the forgotten sisters, the men and women who woke up one day and realized they weren't who they thought they were. And now, it was our turn to fight back. But deep down, I knew one thing. If the real her was still alive, and I found her, would I still love her? Or would I wish she had stayed lost? We drove through the night. No GPS, no lights, just a flash drive guiding us. Coordinates blinking on a cracked tablet. Facility 9, outside Denver, buried beneath an abandoned quarry. No signs, no guards, just a single rusted gate and a ventilation shaft barely wide enough to crawl through. This wasn't a prison. It was a tomb. And somewhere below, she was alive, or at least something wearing her face. I turned to the woman beside me, the one with the red scanner, the replica, the copy, and I said, if we find her and she's still alive, you have to let her go. She didn't answer, just stared at the screen, at the photo of the real her, young, smiling, free. Then she whispered, what if she's not better than me? What if I'm the only one who chose you? I had no answer, because she was right. The original didn't choose me. Fate did, but she did. And in a world of lies, maybe choice was the only truth left. We got out. Cold wind, frozen ground. We crawled into the shaft. Dirt, rats, darkness. For 20 minutes, we inched forward. Then, a drop. We fell, landed hard. Silence. Then, sound, dripping water, distant humming. And voices, not speaking, whispering. We followed the sound, through tunnels, past broken cameras, walls covered in symbols, not graffiti, code, Gemini project symbols. Phase 1, separation. Phase 2, reunion. Phase 3, assimilation. And beneath it, a new line. Subject 7C, ready for transfer. 7C, third of the triplet, her. The one we didn't know existed. Until now, we turned a corner and saw it, a control room. Monitors lined the wall, dozens of them, each showing a room, each with a person, sitting, staring, wearing the same gray suit. And every face was mine, or hers, or theirs, twins, all of them, still alive, still trapped, still being watched. One monitor showed a woman, thin, pale, scarred, sitting in a white room, rocking slowly. She had a birthmark, same as us, but her eyes, they were dead. Empty, like she had seen hell and stayed. I leaned closer, and then she turned, looked right at the camera, and whispered, "I know you're coming." My blood froze. She knew? How? Then the screen flickered, and text appeared. "Welcome home, 7A." The lights in the control room snapped on. We spun. No one there, but the main monitor lit up, and a woman appeared, not on camera, inside the room. She stepped from the shadows. Same face, same build, same birthmark, but different. Her hair was shaved on one side, her arms covered in numbers, not tattoos, scars. She walked slowly, eyes locked on me. Then she smiled. Not warm, not loving, predatory. "You took your time," she said. I stepped back. "Who are you?" She laughed, a sound that didn't belong to a human. "I'm the one they kept, the one they broke, the one they rebuilt." She tapped her temple. I remember everything. The separation, the loneliness. The first time I saw you on screen, living my life, eating my food, holding my hand. She looked at the copy beside me. And you, a ghost, a puppet, programmed to feel. The copy flinched. "But I'm real," she said. "I love him." The woman, the original, stepped closer. Love isn't real when it's implanted, but pain is forever. She turned to me. "You came to save me." I nodded. "I did." She smiled again. "I don't want to be saved." Silence. "What?" "I've been here 10 years, she said. 10 years of tests, of injections, of memory wipes, of being forced to watch you live my life." Her voice dropped, and then they offered me a choice. Kill you or become me. I stepped back. "You're not her." "Oh, I am," she said. "More than you know. I earned this face, this body, this life. While you played house, I survived hell." She pulled out a key card. "Facility 9 is shutting down in 2 hours. Self-destruct sequence initiated." "Why?" "Because I uploaded the files. Exposed everything. Mara is gone. The project is over." I stared at her. "You're free." "No," she said. "I'm finished." She handed me the key card. "This opens the East Wing. The other subjects, the ones who didn't survive reunion, they're still alive, in stasis." My heart pounded. "You're letting us save them?" She looked at me, and for a second, I saw the woman I once loved. Then she said, "I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for you. Because if you save them, you'll never look at her." She pointed at the copy and wondered if you should have chosen the real one. She turned to leave. I called out, "What will you do now?" She stopped. Without turning, she said, "I'll disappear. And if you ever see me again, don't come for me. Because next time, I won't hesitate to erase you." The door hissed shut. We were alone. The copy looked at me. "What now?" I held the key card. Then I said, "We open the doors. We wake the lost. And we make sure the world knows what they did." But as we ran down the East Wing, I couldn't shake one thought. She didn't run because she was broken. She ran because she was free. And maybe some truths are too heavy to carry back. Maybe the real tragedy isn't being replaced. It's realizing you were never the original, and the one who was didn't want you anymore.